Hello, students. Welcome again to this online virtual learning class, courtesy of Sleek Angels International School, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. My name is Obilo Bright. I'm the basic science teacher for the JS1 class, and today we shall be doing a sequel or a continuation of the topic we started the other day, which is the classification of animals. Okay, remember we started the topic, the classification of animals, and I said in that previous lesson, the first one, the part one of it, that animals are classified based on three criteria. Okay, the first criterion is classification based on their habitats. Classification based on their habitat. That is based on where the animals live naturally. The second is the classification based on nutrition or their mode of feeding, right? And then the third classification is classification based on their backbone. That is the presence or absence of backbones. Now, in the first lesson, I concentrated on the classification based on nutrition or mode of feeding. And you remember I did say that animals are actually classified into 5 groups based on nutrition or their mode of feeding. And those 5 groups of animals are: 1, what we call the carnivorous animals, or what we refer to as the carnivores, the flesh-eating animals. And number 2, the herbivorous animals. Those ones are plant-eating animals. The third one is the omnivorous animals. That is, those ones that consume both plants and animals. Then the fourth one, I did talk about the symbiotic animals, those ones that are involved in a close and prolonged relationship, which could be temporary or permanent, and which can also be beneficial, harmful, or neutral. And you did remember that under symbiotic animals, I did discuss mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. You remember, right? Okay, so today, the fifth group under classification based on nutrition or mode of feeding is saprophytic animals. I did tell you that those animals are the ones that feed on dead and decaying organic matter, right? And I gave you examples such as the bacteria and the fungi. Is that clear? Okay, so but today we shall be looking at the part 2 of that classification of animals, and we shall be concentrating today on classification based on backbone. Classification based on backbone. You know what the backbone is, right? What you call the vertebral column. Is that clear? If you put your hands towards your back, if you take your hands towards your back, you see a stack of bones, small bones that run from your neck towards your bottom area, right? That's what we call your backbone. Is that clear? Or what we refer to as the vertebral column. The vertebral column. VERTEBRAL, then column. COLUMN. The vertebral column, or you call it the backbone. Now, based on the presence or absence of backbone, animals are actually divided into 2. Is that clear? Number 1 is vertebrates. And then number 2 is invertebrates. Now, vertebrates are animals with backbones. Any animal that has a backbone or a vertebral column is referred to as a vertebrate. Is that clear? Now, but the ones that do not have backbones are referred to as invertebrates. You can see there, point number 2, right? They are referred to as, these are animals that do not have backbones. Is that clear? Now, let's go to vertebrates. Now, vertebrates are further divided into 5 groups. there are 5 classes of vertebrates. Is that clear? There are 5 classes of vertebrates. The Pisces, okay, or what you refer to as the fishes. The Pisces are referred to as the fishes, sorry. Then the second is the amphibia. The amphibia. Is that clear? The third is reptilia. Reptilia, or what you refer to as the reptiles. Amphibia is what you refer to as the amphibians. The reptilia is what you refer to as the reptiles. Is that clear? Then D, we have aves. Aves, or you call them birds. B-I-R-D-S, birds. Is that clear? Then the fifth is mammalia. The fifth is mammalia, or what you refer to as mammals. Is that clear? So those are the 5 subgroups under the vertebrates. Remember, the vertebrates are animals that have backbones. Now, but for invertebrates, there are 8 groups. Okay? There are 8 groups. We have the protozoa, you have the annelida, you have the platyhelminths, okay? You have the echinodermata, you have the nematoda, you have the arthropoda, you have the mollusca, and we have the colentrata. Now, I know these names might sound a bit strange to you, but you don't need to worry. I will be taking them in the part 3 of this particular lesson. Is that clear? So today, we shall be concentrating on the 5 groups of the vertebrates, the 5 subgroups under the vertebrates, which are the Pisces, the amphibia, the reptilia, the aves, and the mammalia. Is that clear? So the essence of this lesson is that we are going to concentrate on these 5 subgroups under the vertebrates. Is that clear? Now let's start with the Pisces. The Pisces are also referred to as the fishes. You know your fishes, right? Another name for them is the Pisces. Now, there are several characteristics of Pisces or fishes. You can see the subheading there, characteristics of each class of vertebrates. So we're going to look at the characteristics of Pisces or fishes. We're going to look at the characteristics of the amphibians. We're going to look at the characteristics of the reptiles, the characteristics of aves or birds, and then finally we're going to look at the characteristics of mammals or mammalia. Now let's look at the characteristics of fishes. A, they live in water. That, in other words, they're aquatic animals, right? So it's very easy. B, their bodies are covered with wet scales. Is that clear? Is that clear? Look at this image here. The image you're seeing here towards the left is what we refer to as this is the image of a fish. You can see the body there covered with scales, right? Now, the scales are wet because they live in water. Is that clear? They live in water. Good. Now, the third point, they move with the help of their fins. They move with the help of their fins. Please take note. Fishes do not have legs. What they have is fins. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now you can see the tail fin, the one towards the tail area. Is that clear? You can see those red structures by the sides. Those are their fins. That is what they move with. Is that clear? Good. Now the fourth point for the Pisces or the fishes, they are oviparous, meaning that they lay eggs. Fishes lay eggs in water. Is that clear? Is that clear? So because they lay eggs, they are referred to as oviparous animals. Any animal that lays eggs is referred to as an oviparous animals. Sorry, it's referred to as an oviparous animal. Is that clear? Good. Now, E, they breathe through their gills. They breathe through their gills. Now, I know some of you must have seen gills, but you may not know that they are gills. Now, whenever you want to, when you buy fish from, if you buy fishes from the market and then you want to prepare them for cooking, first you go towards the head area and you try to pull out that structure by the side, right? You can see there towards the head area, close to the eyes. That structure you pull out and then you see some reddish brown structures inside. Those structures inside, the side of the head is what we refer to as gills. Is that clear? That is what the fishes breathe with. Is that clear? Good. So they breathe through their gills. And then finally, you have the examples there. The shark, the tilapia, the tuna. Okay, there are several examples of, fishes. Is that clear? You have the skates, the rays. Is that clear? And the rest of them. So there are several examples. So those are the, 5 characteristics of Pisces or fishes. And the 6th one gives you the examples there. Then we get to the amphibians. The amphibians, okay? Now, whenever you hear the word amphibious, it's talking about living a dual life, being able to function both in water and on land. Is that clear? So amphibians are animals that live both in water and on land. They live both in water and on land. To give you examples, your toads, your frogs, okay, they are all amphibians. You can see them here. They're the right part, right? You can see the toads, you can see the frogs. Is that clear? Even the crocodile too is, okay, the crocodile is not. The toads and the frogs are actually the major examples of the amphibians. You have other examples that are not very common. The ones we call the newts, the salamanders, okay? Those ones are also, but they are not very common. They're not as common as the toads and the frogs. So they live both in water and on land. B, they reproduce by laying eggs in water. So they are oviparous too, right? They lay their eggs in water. C, they have a 3-chambered heart. They have a heart that has 3 chambers. Okay? Is that clear? Those chambers are 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Okay? 2 auricles. auricles. There's a heart chamber called the auricle. And there's another one called the ventricle, right? ventricle. So the heart of an amphibian has 3 chambers. D, they have moist bodies and sticky tongues. They have moist bodies. Okay? They spend part of their life in water, so they are bound to have moist bodies. They have sticky tongues. They protrude their tongues from their mouth, especially when they want to, consume or trap insects. Is that clear? Okay. Now they move on land by hopping with their webbed feet. They move on land by hopping with their webbed feet. Is that clear? I told you that they spend part of their lives in water and partly on land too. Is that clear? Okay, so you can see, sometimes you've seen a toad hopping on the ground or a frog, isn't it? And they have a webbed feet. There is this in between the digits on their feet. You see a thick piece of skin in between their digits, the digits on their feet, right? That's what we call the webbed feet. Now, the examples there are the toads and the frogs. Is that clear? Good. Number 3 is the reptilia, what we call the reptiles. The common examples are the lizards. The lizards, right? Good. The wall geckos. Okay. Yeah. Now, for the reptiles, their bodies are covered with dry scales. They are terrestrial animals. They live mainly on land. So their bodies are covered with dry scales. B, they lay eggs. Some of you have seen, eggs laid by, lizards, right? C, they move by crawling or creeping. That's very easy to understand, isn't it? D, they have a pair of eyes. Look at the image you're seeing here is the examples of, reptiles. You can see the crocodile. Okay. You can see the lizard. You can see the gecko. You can see the chameleon. You can see the tortoise. You can see the turtle, right? And then you can see the skink there. You can see snake. Now, please take note. Crocodile is a reptile. But the only exception is that it lives in water. Is that clear? It is normally most reptiles live on land. Is that clear? The only exception is the few exceptions are the crocodiles and sometimes the turtles, right? Is that clear? Good. So these are the examples of reptiles. Then I said they have a pair of eyes, of course. Now, examples are the lizards, the chameleons, the wall gecko, the crocodiles. I've shown you in this image here, right? Fantastic. Now, the next one is the aves, okay, or the birds. The aves or the birds. Now, okay, the birds, if you look at the characteristics, their bodies are covered with feathers. Their bodies are covered with feathers, right? Very easy to understand. Okay. B, they have a four-chambered heart. You know that the amphibians have three-chambered hearts. You remember? I said two auricles and one ventricle. But aves have four-chambered hearts. Okay? They have four-chambered hearts. In other words, they have two auricles and two ventricles. C, they lay eggs. Birds lay eggs. Is that clear? Good. D, their feet are covered with dry scales. Is that clear? If you look at the feet of a bird, it's usually covered with dry scales, but their bodies are covered with feathers, but their feet are covered with scales. So the image you're seeing here is the image of the different kinds of birds that we have. Is that clear? Okay. Now, I said examples are the pigeons, the chickens, the doves, the ducks. Is that clear? Good. Now, the fifth one is the mammalia, or what you refer to as mammals. Is that clear? What you refer to as mammals. Now, I said mammals are the most developed among the vertebrates. They are the most developed. You know why they're the most developed? Because they have well-developed brains. They have well-developed brains. That's why they are the most developed among the vertebrates. Is that clear? Is that clear? Good. And I said, B, their bodies are covered with hairs or furs. Okay? Their bodies are covered with hairs or furs. Now, the image you're seeing here is the image of the different kinds of mammals that we have. Is that clear? Is that clear? These are all, you know that man is also a mammal, remember? Man is also a mammal. Okay? So, I said they are the most developed of all of them, and the reason they are the most developed of all the vertebrates is because they have well-developed, complex brains. Is that clear? Then C, they give birth to their young ones alive. They give birth to their young ones alive. They don't lay eggs. Rather, they give birth to their young ones alive. They are not like the aves or birds that lay eggs first before the young ones can hatch out of the eggs. They are not also like the amphibians that lay eggs. They are not also like the fishes too that lay eggs. Is that clear? They are also not like the reptiles that lay eggs. Okay? Good. So they give birth to their young ones alive. As a result, they are referred to as viviparous. They are referred to as viviparous. Remember, animals that lay eggs are referred to as oviparous. Whereas the ones that give birth to their young ones alive are referred to as viviparous. Though it's not on the slide, you can write it down. V-I-V-I-P-A-R-O-U-S. V-I-V-I-P-A-R-O-U-S. So they are viviparous. In other words, they give birth to their young ones alive. Right? D, they feed their young ones by breastfeeding. They feed their young ones by breastfeeding. That is common knowledge, isn't it? E, they have a four-chambered heart, just like the aves or birds, right? They have a four-chambered heart. Okay? Good. Of all the vertebrates, only the aves and the mammals have four-chambered hearts. Is that clear? Fantastic. And I said examples are man, goats, pigs, sheep, cattle, etc. Is that clear? Those are the examples of mammals. You can see the image here. Okay? Okay, so we've come to the end of the lesson, and you have the assignment there for you. You have two questions. I said, okay, sorry, you have just a question. I said, explain the two main groups of mammals with at least two examples for each. Now, mammals are subdivided into two groups. Now, I'm asking you to explain those two groups and give me two examples for each group. Is that clear? So that is what that is my demand with respect to this assignment. Now, all your answers should be forwarded to the two platforms there. You have the WhatsApp and the email. For the WhatsApp, the number is boldly displayed on the slide: 0806 728 0861. 0806 728 0861. For the email, powerexcel.obilo98@gmail.com. powerexcel.obilo98@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for listening. And please do stay safe, stay healthy, and stay fit. God bless you, and see you in the next class. Bye bye.